Intel. Expect earthquakes and outages in varying fields over the coming days. Kashmir was not an earthquake. It is part of the war. Point 2. The other racers below ground spent the weekend celebrating their independence from the SSP and their minions and cohorts last weekend through Monday. Several battles took place underground for varying reasons, and all went well. Now, the discourse which is ongoing is over us receiving some support in our battle to remove surface clowns. They not only hold us up, but them also. So we're looking for strategic support to deal with their threat in the near future. Point 3. 2 underground stations, which became 3, of rogue elements in the others were destroyed over the weekend. One contained an array of computers that was interfering in a variety of ways, and they were dealt with. Several Vril frequency interference machines operating from below the ground were also deleted globally. The Vril reptilian group lost many of their group also for interference with humanity and ignoring the peace treaty. The Vril group in particular are a major problem currently that we've been dealing with recently, with their frequency-based machines causing much havoc and disruption, particularly in the field of harvesting energy from selected groups. Work is underway to address those issues. There was a plan of theirs to collect tens of thousands of people and bring them to a certain region in America, give them jobs and funding so they can be used as batteries. Some people have a much higher frequency or essence they desire. That was prevented. Next piece. The gist of those below ground machines was to create a frequency that lowered the vibration of people on the planet, particularly certain groups who have turned their light frequency beacon on. Now, people may remember I did a piece that kind of disturbed some, asking was the planet and the planetary being sick? And I asked why so many species who came here all ended up being vampiric, violent, divisive, and or chaos based, and I questioned whether grounding was a good thing, which again people didn't resonate too well with. Those machines are your answer to that question. They are, or in some cases were, infecting the ground with negative frequencies. And so that is another of their New Age-based ideology of being barefooted on the earth has now come into question at this point. The old acupuncture was done in the feet for a reason. It has pressure points that goes to all parts of the body, and so they are receptors in one way. There's also what is called foot detox pads that draws out all of the toxins via the feet. But if it draws out from within, it also proves it can draw in from without. You understand where I'm going? For those that look for excuses for the masses, this technology is not it. For those who did their work and elevated their frequency, it becomes a mild to medium irritant. Those that haven't sink lower in vibration and frequency. You save you and two worlds all in one piece. And I will leave it up to you all to decide whether grounding is a good thing anymore. It's your choice. I just provide the information. But those machines below were penetrating from below and reducing the frequency. Last piece of intel before we have a couple of songs. I've told you, and many believe it, that this show has more of the direct knowledge of what is and what has really gone on this planet. Our listeners are part of the few with the knowledge of the real control system for a start. The deep state are all bottom 5%. That's it. The alt media covers the bottom 25% maximum. And you've been told several things in our shows that the governments, heads of state and several other so-called high-profile groups are not privy to. Some people believe it and some people don't. If this next part doesn't hit home the levels of information you have, nothing will. Kim received a call from the Fed this week and they spouted their usual drivel, needing money and leveraging it for the benefit of clowns. It's the general gist of it. Kim spoke back in truth. As she said, probably heard more bullshit stories than anyone else on the planet over the last 5 or 6 years as the trustee. She's heard every single bullshit story they and others have tried to feed her, and she spoke facts. Fact 1 to the Federal Reserve: you have no license and your contract expired in 2012. The response back was, we didn't know. Fact 2, you are owned by the Rothschilds. Response back was, we are not aware of that either. As of yesterday, the people who made that call from the Fed were approaching the Fed chairman, or whatever position he's in, Mr. Powell, to mention these bombshells. Seriously. I guess compartmentalisation is on steroids in that department. Either that or the memory wiped bots.